Welcome back to Sammy Franco TV, your #1 channel for reality-based self-defense and personal empowerment. Now today we're diving into one of the most critical aspects of self-defense. We're talking about knife defense skills. Now in my contemporary fighting arts system, we categorize knife attacks into two distinctive types. We have the dynamic assault where the blade is moving at incredible speeds. And then we have the static assault where the knife attacker holds the knife at a specific spot and threatens. Now, in this video, I'm going to focus exclusively on the static assault, what it is, why it's dangerous, and most importantly, how you can defend yourself against this particular type of attack. As always, pay attention and good luck.
In my first tape, Control and Conquer, I spoke about the two different forms of a knife attack, static and dynamic. And I spoke about the static attack where he holds you up here, he holds you up at knife point, and he threatens you. Usually when a criminal holds you up at knife point, he has certain wants. He may want your body, if it's maybe a sexual assault or a rape. He may want your life, he wants to kill you because he's a psychopath. He may want your property, such as your wallet, your car. He may even want your dignity. He maybe wants to humiliate you. He wants to see you piss yourself by the threat of the knife against you. So it's very important to determine what the want is. Obviously, if he wants your life, you should fight for your life, and that's where certain disarming techniques come into the static assault. We're going to assume that he's not bluffing, he's not trying to take away your dignity, he's not trying to just intimidate you, he's going to cut your throat. And you have a moment or two before it's going to happen, so that's what the frame of mind we have here. Again, if a criminal wants your money, your possessions, you give it to him, you shouldn't fight for that. But if he wants your life, obviously you're going to fight for your life. So the first rule of thumb when you're held up at knife point, Pete holding up at knife point, is to slowly raise the hands up. Not fast, because criminal doesn't know that you're complying. He may think by raising your hands up too quickly that you're resisting and he may slash the jugular. So when he presses it against the jugular, you want to raise your hands up really slowly. You want to communicate with him. You want to tell him that you're going to comply with him, you're going to give him what he wants, that you don't want him to harm you. So again, Pete holds me up at knife point. Again, all we're going to do is simply raise the hands up nice and slow. This is the drill, that's it. Put it on the other side of the carotid artery, Pete. Slowly raise the hands up. Notice how the palms are up. Notice also that my hands are raised the height of the arm. I don't want my hands to be too high. Tim, can you get this? Yes, it's a good angle here for you. Or too low, because that's going to be telegraphic in nature if I decide to try to redirect the weapon or control his hand. So I have to rely, even though I may not be able to see his arm exactly where it's located, I can feel the pressure of the blade and pretty much gauge where the arm is, so my hands are going to get up. Notice how the palms face him. A lot of my students and a lot of people I've taught in seminars, they raise their hands too quickly. You do not want to raise the hands too quickly. And again, another mistake is what they do is they raise the hands either too low or too high, or they get real tense. You've got to learn to keep your cool. If you're going to take this tactical advantage of disarming that weapon, you've got to be able to keep your shit together. It's hard, I assure you, but it can be done with practice. So what we're going to do is, I'm going to be the bad guy this time, Pete's going to be the good guy. I'm going to hold him up at the knife point. All he's going to do is he's going to slowly raise his arms up. Okay, give your money, cat. He's going to raise his hands up. Perfect, good. You don't want to have your arms up. Look how wide this is. Try to keep it nice and close to it. Don't be obvious though, holding up at knife point. You want to be like this, right? And you don't want it too wide, so you want to find something, the comfort zone right between those two. So again, good. Now if he grabs your shirt and threatens you, you don't want to have the arm to the outside. You want to have both arms in the inside. Excellent. This is a very good tactical maneuver by him. So he has control of it. If he had his arm to the outside of it, Pete's blocked by this. Can you get that, Tim? He's blocked by this. So what he wants to do is he wants to be smart, and he wants to bring that arm up between. Notice how my arm is between his two, rather. Okay? If you screw up, Pete, bring it to the outside. Just bring your hands up subtly, and can you bring it back up? Very, very good. This is good tactic. Again, screw up a little bit. Now bring it to the center as you communicate and talk. There's going to be dialogue. He's going to talk to you. He's going to communicate to you. You want to communicate back to him. When is the best time to try to disarm the weapon? When you are distracting with some sort of verbal communication. Maybe you're responding to his question with a remark. Maybe you're asking him a question, and then he's processing that question, and he's giving you an answer, and maybe that's the ideal time. But usually in the course of dialogue, that's where the window of opportunity presents itself to disarm that from a static knife attack. Again, this is not the only position. Someone can hold you up a knife point to the throat, under your chin, to the sternum solar plexus. He can hold it under your groin. He can hold it against the side of you. Now, there's There are some positions in a static assault where there's nothing you can do. Let me just show you here. This is called, I call this a Franco escort because I made it up. Essentially, if he just flinches, I'm going to sever his artery. If he tries to keep doing like a slow elbow technique here, even the impact, the reaction dynamic of the impact to me, I'm going to sever his carotid. There's nothing this man can do. This is called a you're position. There's nothing you can do about this. So you have to understand, and part of self-defense is understanding the limitations of certain positions is that there's some things you cannot do. You don't want to get yourself in that situation, and we have to really question your awareness skills. How did you allow someone to come from behind, get your arm configured in such a way, almost like in a half Nelson with the knife against the carotid artery? That's another issue. It's another tape about CFA awareness skills. So understand that there's some things you cannot get out of. However, we're going to address the issue of something you can get out of. So let's talk about the disarming. He puts pressure against the carotid artery. I raise both hands up. I communicate. I don't want to create any type of threat, and I don't want to telegraph any intentions of resistance to him. If I determine through the course of dialogue or the environment or situation that he is going to kill me, that's when I'm going to disarm the weapon. What you need to do is simultaneously, you're going to have to redirect the weapon and move your target out of the line of the cut. So in this particular case, since the blade is going against my carotid artery, Pete is giving me pressure, he's going this way, I'm going to have to redirect the energy the opposite direction. So this way, Tim, is better. So what I'm going to do is the blade has to be directed to my left. Simultaneously, as I redirect that weapon, I have to move the head in the opposite direction. So I'm moving it to my left and I'm moving my head to the right. All of which I'm going to have to control it with my left hand. So in this position here, I've redirected it with my right. I move my head to my right, and I'm controlling with the left. So again, I use my right hand, I redirect it, it's going to the left. I move my head to the right, and I catch it with my left hand. Again, Pete, give some pressure here. Exactly. From here, you're now controlling the weapon. I've only got a split second or two before this man figures out what's going on. His reaction, he could try to pull the knife out, he could try to stab me with the knife, or he may even hit with that other hand, right? So understand that there's going to be a resistance from him as well. So once I have control, I've got to strike him. CWCT, closest weapon, closest target. I don't want to give up this grip, so I don't want to really jab the eyes or rake the eyes just yet. I'll headbutt. Then I'll knee strike. Then if I can weaken him with several shots, knee strike, headbutt. Maybe I'll let go to maybe do a knife hand strike. Or maybe I'll flex his wrist down and slash him with the knife and stab him with it, which can be done too. So again, he holds you up the knife point. My hands come up, I communicate. Try to determine what the intent of this criminal is. Again, if it's to take my life, I'm going to have to resort to disarming techniques. I'm going to redirect it, move my head out of the line of the cut, and control it in one motion. Headbutt, knee strike, flex, slash, and stab. As I mentioned earlier, there are different places that a book can hold you up at knife point. We covered if he holds you up at knife point in the throat region, the upper portion. Now we're going to talk about if he holds you up at knife point, chest level. Same concept. What you want to do is you want to raise your hand slowly. You want to comply, use your hand, gesticulate. You don't want any sudden movements because he can stick you with the knife thinking that there's going to be a form of resistance. If you feel your life is threatened, you're going to have to obviously try to disarm the weapon. So my hands are up. I'm talking to him. tell me what your want is. What do you want?
Give me your money, man.
Again, as I mentioned before, you don't fight for your possessions, you give your money. If you feel, after you give him the possessions, that it's going to take it to the next level, he's obviously going to kill you, then you should try a disarm. So Evan, press the blade a little bit more into the chest levels. Tell me, threaten me in any way you want. Say we're going to go here or go there.
Let's go, man. We're going down the street with you. Right now. We're going down my car. Let's go.
Okay, again, the rule of thumb is clear your body away from the knife, control the weapon, and from this point we're going to neutralize him. The best bet is the headbutt, followed by knee strikes, and then if I wish, and if the opportunity presents itself, I'm going to go right for the windpipe and crush the windpipe and drive backwards. Again, this technique was discussed in Control and Conquer 1, the first tape. Again, Evan, hold up the chest point. What is it, man? What do you want?
Give me the keys to your car right now. Give them to me. Give them to me. Let's go. Walk to your car. Walk to your car right now. Walk. Let's go.
Backwards.
Let's go. Walk.
Okay, again. Control the weapon after I move my body away from the knife attack. Headbutt, knee strike, windpipe. Another target the criminal can hold you up is at the stomach level. So we talked about the throat, the chest, and now we're going to talk about the stomach level. The same principles apply. Again, you want to move your body away from the knife. Then you want to control the weapon, then you want to neutralize the attacker, and then finally you want to disarm the weapon. So again, he holds me up about stomach level, threatening me. I feel my life is in danger. My hands are going to be at the same level as the blade and the wrist. In a form of distraction while I'm talking to him, what are you going to threaten me with? Go ahead.
You're going to threaten me with your life, man.
Hey man, look, I don't want trouble. What have I done to you? Talk to me, man.
What do you mean? I saw you.
Okay, again, I move my body away from the knife, control the weapon. I'm going to go in for the shot, the headbutt, the knee strikes, and again, then I'm going to go for the throat. Again, let's try it again, real slowly.
Hey man, what are you doing?
In the form of the distraction, communicating with this man, shoot the body back, control with a V grip, as you can see here. Headbutt, knee strike, go in for the pipe and squeeze it. Evan, pull my wrist down. Evan pulls the wrist down, which is instinctual for many people to do. You climb with the fingers and go back for the throat again. And again, you want to drive him back.
This orientation drill helps students familiarize themselves with the unpredictable movements of the knife, reinforcing strategic hand placement for defending against throat, chest, and stomach attacks. Maintaining proper body language is crucial. Avoid telegraphing your intentions by curling your fingers or tensing your shoulders. Keeping your hands open with the palms facing the attacker signals compliance and can create the opportunity to disarm the weapon if necessary.